They said it was intimate. Just immediate family. No need to book a flight. No need to clear my schedule. No need to wonder why the group chat went silent. So I didn't. I ordered Thai takeout and queued up a documentary instead. 3 hours later, my phone exploded. Mom weeping. Dad stammering excuses. Brooke screaming that I'd humiliated them. Strange. I wasn't even there. I sat on my balcony watching the city lights blink like distant approval. Somewhere between the noodles and the second glass of wine, I realized the celebration I'd spent 30 years trying to earn a place that was never meant to include me. I'm Savannah, and last Tuesday shattered every illusion I'd been holding on to about family. Have you ever discovered you were the secret nobody wanted to tell? Drop a comment. They called it intimate. Now someone's credit score depends on it. I've always been the inconvenient daughter. The one who asked too many questions, achieved too independently, refused to shrink. Brooke, she's the favorite. Kindergarten teacher, engaged to a dentist, the kind of daughter who looks good in Christmas cards. I was the glitch in their perfect narrative. The one they cropped out of Instagram posts. Tuesday afternoon, Mom called during my meeting. Her tone was rehearsed. Sweetie, Dad and I are doing something small for our anniversary this weekend. Very low-key. Just us and Brooke.
No invitación.
Just a warning disguised as information. I muted my mic. That sounds nice. Have fun. She paused. Right. Very casual. That word haunted me for hours. Casual, as in, don't ask to come. Wednesday evening, my best friend Natalie called, livid. Savannah, tell me you're joking. You're seriously not going. Going where? Your parents' 35th anniversary party. My stomach dropped. What party? She forwarded me the Facebook event. 80 guests. Catered dinner at the Preston estate. Live jazz band. Valet parking. The party I was never supposed to know existed. I called Mom back. Her silence told me everything. We thought it would be easier if you sat this one out. Easier for whom? You know how Brooke gets when you're around, she said. You tend to overshadow things. That sentence hollowed me out. As if existing was aggressive. As if success was a personal attack. I'd paid for their roof repair last year. Covered Dad's surgery bills. Sent money every month when his business collapsed. Still, I was the problem. The disruption. I hung up and stared at my apartment, the one I'd bought myself, furnished myself, built myself. Anger arrived first, then heartbreak, then something colder. Understanding. If they couldn't make space for me, I'd stop begging for a seat. If you've ever been erased by the people who should celebrate you most, you know this particular kind of suffocation. So I started planning something else entirely. Not revenge. Evolution. Natalie picked up before the first ring finished. Nat, I need to do something radical. Say less, she replied. What are we burning down? Within an hour, she had options. Weekend in Charleston. Tickets to a Broadway show in New York. Spa retreat in Sedona. But none of it felt right. Then she said it, what if you just, let them panic? I didn't need to escape. I needed to stay exactly where I was and stop pretending their rejection didn't exist. Friday night, while they hung string lights and arranged floral centerpieces, I opened my laptop and drafted an email. Subject line, financial boundaries moving forward. I kept it clinical. Professional. The way you'd address a client, not family. Dear Mom and Dad, after careful consideration, I've decided to restructure my financial commitments. Effective immediately, I'll no longer be contributing to household expenses, medical bills, or emergency funds. I'm redirecting those resources toward my own future. I wish you well with your celebration and everything that follows. I scheduled it to send Saturday at 6 p.m., right when they'd be cutting the anniversary cake. Then I did something I'd never done before. I logged into the mortgage company's portal. The one where I'd been making their monthly payments for 14 months. The house they'd nearly lost before I intervened. The house they were celebrating 35 years of marriage in. I stopped the automatic transfer. Cancelled next month's payment. Downloaded every receipt, every transaction, every proof of the $38,000 I'd quietly poured into keeping their life afloat. Natalie came over with wine and validation. "You're not being petty," she said, reading over my shoulder. "You're being sane." "They don't even know I've been paying it," I admitted. "Dad thinks his refinance went through. Mom thinks they're just managing better." Natalie's jaw dropped. "Savannah, you've been their ghost investor for over a year." I nodded. "I didn't want them to feel ashamed." "And they repaid you by uninviting you to their party." She raised her glass. "To boundaries that should have existed a decade ago." Saturday arrived with unusual clarity. No guilt. No second guessing. Just calm. I cleaned my apartment, went to the farmer's market, bought fresh flowers for myself. At noon, Brooke posted the first photo. The venue looked spectacular. Crystal chandeliers. White roses everywhere. Caption: celebrating 35 years of the best parents anyone could ask for. #family first #blessed. I liked it. Then I commented, "Beautiful. So glad you all could be there for them. They're lucky to have such dedicated support." Subtle. Almost sweet. But anyone reading between the lines could hear the edge. By 3 p.m., the posts multiplied. Mom in her champagne dress. Dad giving a speech. Brooke and her fiancé Trevor looking like a greeting card. Every photo captioned with some variation of "family is everything and grateful for this tribe." I liked every single one. No comments. Just visible, public approval from the daughter they'd hidden. Then at 5:47 p.m., Brooke posted a group photo. Everyone in the family squeezed together, laughing. Caption: family only. The people who matter most. My finger hovered over the screen. Then I typed, "Congrats. So happy for you all. By the way, just a heads up, mortgage and property taxes are all yours now. I'm sure you've got it covered though. Enjoy the party." I hit post. Then I turned off my phone and made dinner. Lemon chicken. Roasted vegetables. A bottle of Pinot Grigio I'd been saving. I ate slowly, tasting every bite, hearing nothing but the jazz playlist I'd chosen for myself. Somewhere across town, my comment was detonating like a truth bomb at a denial convention. I turned my phone back on at 8:30 p.m. 30 missed calls. 67 text messages. The group chat I'd been removed from had apparently been resurrected just to include me in the hysteria. Brooke's post was gone. Deleted. Vanished like it had never existed. But screenshots live forever, and someone had already sent me proof of the chaos in the comments before she nuked it. Aunt Veronica, wait, Savannah wasn't invited? Cousin Blake, she's been paying their mortgage? Mom's college friend Diane, this explains so much about last Thanksgiving. Then the texts started loading. Brooke first, naturally, "You're a spiteful, jealous witch. You couldn't let us have one nice day." Then another, "Everyone's asking questions. Mom is sobbing. I hope you're proud." Then a third, "Trevor's parents are here. You made us look like monsters." I sipped my wine and kept reading. "Mom, Savannah, please call me right now. This is not the time, Dad. We need to talk about what you just did, young lady." More from Brooke. "Delete that comment now. I'm serious, Savannah. You've ruined everything." Natalie texted, "Bestie. You broke the internet." Brooke's post has been screenshot and shared in 3 different family group chats I'm not even in. "I'm getting texts from your relatives asking if you're okay. This is legendary." I smiled and didn't respond to anyone. Not yet. Let them marinate in the consequences of their choices. At 9:15 p.m., my phone rang. Dad. I let it go to voicemail. He called again. And again. On the 4th attempt, I answered. "Savannah Elizabeth Monroe, what in God's name do you think you're doing?" His voice was tight with barely contained rage. "Having dinner," I said calmly. "You too, apparently. How's the party?" "You just humiliated your mother in front of 80 people. Our friends. Our colleagues. Trevor's entire family." "I didn't humiliate anyone," I interrupted. "I stated a fact. A fact you both kept from everyone while accepting my money every single month." Silence. Then Mom's voice, shrill and tearful in the background. "Let me talk to her. Savannah? Sweetheart?" Why would you do this? Do what, Mom? Tell the truth. You made it sound like we're using you. Aren't you? Another silence. Longer this time. We were going to pay you back, Dad said finally. When we got back on our feet. It's been 14 months, Dad. When exactly were you planning to mention that I've been keeping you housed? Mom's crying intensified. We didn't want to burden you with gratitude, she sobbed. We thought it would make things awkward. More awkward than uninviting me to your anniversary party? I asked. That was different, Dad snapped. That was about keeping the peace. Whose peace? I demanded. Because I haven't had any in years. Brooke grabbed the phone. You're selfish, you know that? Everything always has to be about you. Your feelings. Your money. Your drama. My money that's paying your parents' bills while you post Instagram captions about family. I cut in. Tell me, Brooke, when's the last time you contributed anything besides photo ops? The line went dead. I finished my wine and went to bed. I slept better than I had in months. Sunday morning arrived with apocalyptic energy in my phone. The missed calls had multiplied overnight. Family members I hadn't spoken to in years were suddenly very concerned about what's really going on. I made coffee, opened my laptop, and started replying with the same copy-pasted message, I'm doing great. Thanks for reaching out. Just setting some healthy boundaries. Hope you're well. Aunt Veronica called at 9 a.m. Unlike my parents, she didn't waste time with accusations. Savannah, honey, talk to me. What happened? I told her everything. The casual dismissal. The Facebook event I wasn't invited to. The 14 months of silent payments. The family-only caption that erased my existence. She was quiet for a long moment. Then, oh sweetheart. I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Nobody did, I said. That was the point. Your mother called me last night, Veronica continued. She's spinning it like you threw a tantrum because you weren't invited. But something felt off. Now I know why. What did you tell her? I told her I needed to hear your side before I said anything else. And now that I have. She exhaled slowly. I told her she raised you better than to be treated like an ATM with no voting rights. I smiled despite myself. Thanks, Aunt V. Don't thank me yet. Half the family thinks you're a hero. The other half thinks you're vindictive. Thanksgiving is going to be a disaster. I'm not going to Thanksgiving, I said simply. Good. Come to my house instead. I'll make the lasagna you actually like. By noon, Trevor's mother had apparently called my mother. Emma, one of Brooke's bridesmaids, texted me the update. Girl. Mrs. Caldwell just told your mom that if they can't treat their own daughter with respect, she's concerned about the values her son is marrying into. Your sister is spiraling. I didn't respond, but I did feel a flicker of satisfaction. Then Dad called. Not angry this time. Defeated. Savannah. Please. Can we just talk? In person. Why? Because your mother won't stop crying. Because Brooke's wedding might be in jeopardy. Because I don't know how to fix this. You can't fix what you won't acknowledge you broke, I said quietly. I know we hurt you. You didn't just hurt me, Dad. You erased me. You took my money and my help and my loyalty, and you didn't even think I deserved a seat at the table. Not even a pity invite. Nothing. His voice cracked. We thought. God, this sounds terrible now. We thought you were too busy for family stuff. Too focused on your career. We didn't want to bother you. So instead you let me pay your mortgage in secret while excluding me from your celebration? When you say it like that, that's the only way to say it, Dad. That's what happened. He was quiet. Then, what do you want from us? The question hung in the air like smoke. Honesty, I said finally. Accountability. And to stop being treated like I'm too much for wanting to be included. Can you come over? Monday night? Just the four of us. I hesitated. I'll think about it. I hung up and stared at my reflection in the blank TV screen. I looked tired. But I also looked free. Monday evening, I drove to my childhood home. The driveway looked the same. The garden I'd helped plant still bloomed. The shutters I'd paid to replace last year still hung straight. I sat in my car for 5 full minutes before walking to the door. Mom opened it before I could knock. Her eyes were swollen, her face blotchy. "Savannah." Her voice cracked. "Come in. Please." The living room felt smaller than I remembered. Dad sat on the couch, hands clasped. Brooke perched on the armchair, arms crossed, radiating resentment. No one knew how to start. "So," I said, breaking the silence. "Who wants to go first?" Mom twisted her hands. "Sweetheart, we owe you an apology. A real one. We handled everything wrong." "You didn't handle anything," I interrupted. "You hid me. There's a difference." Brooke scoffed. "You're so dramatic. It was one party." "It wasn't about the party, Brooke. It was about what it represented. 35 years of their marriage, and I wasn't worth inviting. But I was worth secretly funding." "We didn't ask you to do that," she snapped. "You offered." "I offered because Dad told me you were about to lose the house. Remember that phone call, Dad? The one where you were crying?" Dad flinched. Brooke looked at him, confused. "What is she talking about?" "November 2023, I continued. "Dad called me at midnight. Said the bank was starting foreclosure. Said he didn't know what to do. Said he couldn't lose the house Mom loved. So I offered to help. Temporarily. Until you got back on your feet." "We are on our feet," Dad said weakly. "Are you?" "Because I checked the account. You're 2 months behind on property taxes. The refinance you told Mom went through? Never happened. You've been using my mortgage payments to cover other bills." Mom's face went white. "Richard." Dad couldn't look at her. "I thought I was handling it." "You were handling it with my money while throwing me a party I wasn't invited to," I said. The room went silent. Finally, Brooke spoke, quieter now. "I didn't know about any of it." "Of course you didn't. Because asking questions might have complicated the narrative." "What narrative?" "That I'm the selfish career woman and you're the devoted daughter. That I'm too busy for family and you're the glue holding everyone together." Mom started crying again. "We never meant to make you feel invisible, used, disposable. I offered. Take your pick." "You're our daughter," Dad said desperately. "We love you." "You love what I provide," I corrected. "There's a difference. You love my money, my problem solving, my willingness to show up when things fall apart. But you don't love me enough to include me when things are good." Brooke's expression shifted, something between guilt and realization. "Trevor's parents are saying the same thing. That we treat you like a safety net instead of a sister." "They're not wrong," I said. "I'm done being your insurance policy. I'm done funding a life I'm not welcome in." "What does that mean?" Mom whispered. "It means figure it out yourselves. The mortgage, the taxes, the bills. All of it. I'm not your emergency contact anymore." I left that night with nothing resolved and everything clarified. No apologies that felt real. No accountability that went deep enough. Just the hollow echo of "we'll do better" from people who'd had years to do exactly that. I drove home in silence, windows down, letting the cool air remind me I was still here, still whole, still worth more than their conditional appreciation. The calls continued for days. Mom, begging me to reconsider. Dad, promising changes he couldn't specify. Brooke, oscillating between fury and something that almost resembled remorse. I let most of them go to voicemail. The ones I did answer, I kept short. "I'm not angry. I'm just done accepting less than I deserve." That sentence became my mantra. 2 weeks later, Trevor called. "Not Brooke. Trevor." "Savannah? It's Trevor. Can we talk?" I almost hung up. "About what?" "About what happened. And what's been happening since." He sighed. "Brooke told me everything. About the mortgage. The money. How long you've been carrying them. I didn't know. She didn't know. And now you do." "Yeah. And honestly, It's making me rethink some things. My stomach tightened. Trevor, I'm not trying to sabotage your relationship. You're not, he interrupted. But you did expose something I needed to see. The way they talk about you versus the way they treat you. It doesn't match. And when I brought it up to Brooke, she got defensive instead of reflective. That's a problem. What are you saying? I'm saying we've postponed the wedding. Not cancelled. Postponed. We're going to couples therapy. And I told Brooke she needs to do some individual work on her family dynamics before I feel comfortable moving forward. I sat down, stunned. Trevor, I never wanted, I know. But you deserve credit for standing up. Most people would have just kept quiet and kept paying. You didn't. That takes guts. It took rage, I admitted. And exhaustion. And about 5 years of therapy. He laughed softly. Well, whatever it took, thank you. For being honest. Even when it was messy. After we hung up, I cried. Not from sadness. From relief. From the staggering realization that standing up for myself hadn't destroyed everything, it had just revealed what was already broken. Natalie came over that night with takeout and terrible reality TV. So Trevor called, I said, picking at my pad thai. I heard. Brooke posted a very vague Instagram story about growth journeys and finding yourself before finding forever. The comments are wild. I don't want to be the reason they break up, I said quietly. You're not. You're the reason he's asking the right questions. There's a difference. She squeezed my hand. You didn't break anything, Save. You just stopped holding broken things together. 3 months passed. The silence from my family shifted from hostile to hollow. No more angry calls. No more guilt trips. Just distance. And surprisingly, the distance felt like oxygen. Work thrived. I got a promotion, senior project manager, corner office, salary that finally matched my value. My boss said, "You've been different lately. Sharper. More confident." I stopped managing other people's crises, I replied. Had more bandwidth for my own success. He nodded approvingly. Keep it up. 6 months after the anniversary party, I met someone. Not looking for it. Not expecting it. Just stumbled into it at a bookstore coffee shop when he asked if the seat across from me was taken, and somehow we talked for 3 hours straight. His name was Cameron, architect, dog dad, the kind of person who listens like your words matter. He didn't know my family drama. Didn't know the story of the girl who got erased from the party. He just knew me. The version I was becoming. On our 4th date, I told him about the anniversary. About the mortgage payments and the deleted Facebook post and the 30 missed calls. I waited for judgment. Instead, he said, that must have taken incredible strength. To choose yourself after years of choosing them. I nearly cried into my wine. Most people think I was petty. Most people are afraid to set boundaries, he countered. What you did wasn't petty. It was self-preservation. We're engaged now. Small ceremony planned for next spring in Napa Valley. Wine country sunset. 20 people who genuinely celebrate when others shine. I sent my family invitations. Simple, elegant. No pressure. Mom called immediately, crying happy tears. Savannah, thank you. Thank you for not giving up on us. I'm not giving up, I said carefully. But I'm also not going backward. If you come as guests. Not as people I owe anything to. We understand, she said quietly. We're working on it. Therapy. All of us. Brooke included. That's good, I said, meaning it. I'm proud of you for that. Dad got on the line. I paid off the mortgage, kiddo. Sold my boat. Downsized some things. It's handled. Dad, you didn't have to. Yeah, I did. I should have done it years ago instead of leaning on you. I'm sorry it took public humiliation to wake me up. His voice cracked. I'm proud of you. Even if I've been terrible at showing it. Brooke was the last to reach out. Not a call. A letter. Handwritten. 3 pages of honesty I didn't know she was capable of. She apologized for the family-only caption, for the years of taking me for granted, for treating my generosity like an entitlement. She said therapy was helping her see how much she'd internalized mom and dad's narrative about me being too much. She said Trevor was helping her unlearn it. She asked if maybe, someday, we could start over. Not as the golden child and the black sheep. Just as sisters. I wrote back. Told her I'd like that. That I missed her, even when I was angry. That family doesn't mean accepting mistreatment, but it also doesn't mean throwing away everyone who's ever hurt you, if they're genuinely willing to change. Sometimes I think about that night. The deleted post. The mortgage revelation. The 30 missed calls. It felt apocalyptic then. Now it feels like the earthquake that cleared the foundation so something sturdier could be built. Cameron asks sometimes if I regret the way it all went down. I don't. Not anymore. Because the best revenge isn't cruelty. It's peace. It's waking up in a life you don't have to fund with your self-respect. It's knowing your worth isn't measured by how much you can give people who refuse to see you. I built my own table. It's smaller. More intentional. Everyone here knows my name. The California wine tastes sweeter when you're not swallowing resentment with it. Freedom sounds a lot like finally putting yourself first. Sometimes the family you lose makes space for the life you were always meant to live. The view from here is extraordinary. Before I go, if this story resonated with you, know this: you're not selfish for wanting to be valued. You're not heartless for choosing yourself. And you're definitely not wrong for expecting love to feel mutual. To everyone who's ever been the family ATM with no seat at the table, your worth isn't up for debate. Not anymore. The ocean of your own peace is waiting. Sometimes you have to stop paying the mortgage on other people's happiness to afford your own. I'm Savannah. And I finally know exactly who I am when I'm not trying to earn belonging. The answer is, someone worth celebrating. Drop a comment if you've ever had to choose yourself over family expectations. Subscribe for more stories about boundaries, healing, and finding your people. Remember, the best family isn't always blood. It's the people who clap when you shine.